Hello students, today we are going to discuss physical properties of metals. All metals, for example gold, iron, copper, are solid at room temperature, but mercury is liquid at room temperature. Metals in pure state possess luster. Luster means brightness. Metals like silver, gold, and platinum are known for their luster, and their surface can be easily polished because of this luster. These metals are used in making ornaments. Metals possess luster only when fresh. When kept exposed to atmosphere for long time, they lose their luster. For example, surface of aluminium becomes dull due to formation of coating of aluminium oxide, and copper surface acquire greenish color due to formation of basic copper carbonate, and silver articles become black after some time because it react with sulfur and form the coating of silver sulfide. Activity 3.1 of NCERT. Take samples of iron, copper and magnesium. Note the appearance of each sample and clean the surface of each sample by rubbing with sandpaper and note their appearance again. The surface of metal covered with layers of oxide, hydroxide and carbonate due to attack of gases present in the atmosphere on their surface, and on rubbing the surface with sandpaper, the layer is removed and shining surface appears. Metals are hard and this hardness varies from metal to metal. Take pieces of metals like iron, copper, aluminium and magnesium and try to cut them with knife. All of them are hard to cut and force required to cut them is different. But sodium and potassium are soft metal. They can be cut with knife. Metals are malleable, that is they can be beaten into thin sheets. Take pieces of metals like iron and copper and place any one metal on the block of iron and strike the piece of metal 4 to 5 times with hammer. It is observed that the piece of metal changes the shape. It means metals have property of malleability. The sheets of iron, copper and aluminiums are used in making the utensils or vessels of different shapes. And silver foils are used for decorating sweets. Aluminium foils used for wrapping medicines and foodstuffs like chocolates. Metals are ductile, that is, they can be drawn into wires. And the gold is the most ductile metal. A wire of about 2 kilometer length can be drawn from 1 gram of metal. The ability of metal to be drawn into thin wires is called ductility. Metals are good conductor of heat and possess high melting point. To understand this, take a thick copper or aluminium wire. Clamp it on the stand. To the free end of the wire, fix a pin with the help of wax. Heat the wire with a burner at the place closer to clamp end. It is observed that wax melt and pins fall. It means heat flows through the metal wire and wire does not melt easily after long heating. This shows that metals possess high melting point. Gallium and cesium have very low melting point. These two metals will melt if you keep them on your palm. Best conductor of heat are silver and copper, and lead and mercury are poor conductor of heat. Metals are good conductor of electricity. For this, set up an electric circuit. Connect a metal strip or wire between the clips A and B. Switch on the battery, it is observed that bulb begins to glow. This shows that electric current can flow through the metal strip or wires, means metals are good conductor of electricity. But the covering of wires with plastic like PVC is done because it is an insulating material and protects us from electric shock if touched accidentally when electric current is flowing through the wire. Metals are sonorous, that is, they produce sound on striking a hard surface. Metals have high density. Metals have high density exception lithium, sodium, potassium are metals with low densities. Metals have high tensile strength. Due to this property, iron is used in construction of bridges, building, railway lines and machinery, vehicles, etc. Physical properties of nonmetals. Nonmetals exist in three states of matter. Carbon, sulfur, phosphorus and iodine are solid nonmetal. Bromine is liquid nonmetal. Oxygen, nitrogen and chlorine are gaseous nonmetal. Nonmetals are soft. Non-metal mostly soft as compared to metals. For example, sulfur, graphite, an allotropic form of carbon are soft. But diamond, another allotropic of carbon, is very hard. Non-metals are non-lustrous. But iodine, which is a non-metallic solid, has luster. Malleability and ductility. Non-metals are non-malleable and non-ductile. They cannot be beaten into sheets and drawn into the wires. Electrical conductivity. Non-metals are bad conductor of electricity, except graphite, which is an allotropic form of carbon, is a good conductor of electricity and it is used in making electrodes. Melting and boiling point. Non-metals have low melting and boiling point, but diamond, an allotropic form of carbon, has high melting and boiling point.